How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining me. Today's video is especially important. I think just because we're going to be talking about the state of the industry as a whole right now, and I think it's looking pretty gloomy as far as what the future holds for 2023. I'll remain optimistic, but the sad part about it is even positive thinking isn't going to be the thing that's going to get us through these times, because we got some tough times coming up. And it's going to start getting pretty rough here over the next few months, I think. The market's been down for a while now as far as like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Those have all been down since the end of last year, but as far as feeling it in the economy, I think we're just starting to get a taste of it over the last couple of months, and we haven't hit that peak pain point yet that is inevitably coming. So a couple of things that I think we should focus on to get through these times right now is going to get as micro as possible as soon as possible. So start scaling back your businesses. Replicate these big companies that do this, like the social media giants or the tech companies that are eliminating hundreds of people at a time. That's the type of thing that needs to be happening right now. You need to be trimming the fat. As a business, that is what needs to happen. As a humanitarian, you want to hang on to your employees and help them as much as you can, but to survive these times, we really need to trim the fat, make sure that every dollar we spend counts. And for us as a whole in this industry, I think those dollars are going to be especially important to put into advertising, getting in front of people, as many people as you can. You're not going to get every job, and that's okay. We want to just get in front of people as best we can and try to get good at selling our work in the process. So I would say get micro, budget your spending accordingly. I would pour as much money into advertising as I could, and I would cut spending in all other areas immediately. When you're doing your estimate process, you want to make sure that you're connecting with your clients. That's the time. Instead of selling yourself, look for ways where you can be relatable to the people that you're getting in front of, okay? When we create a connection like that, and we're kind of in a competitive war against somebody else, then our customers are going to lean towards the person that they felt a better connection with. So that's going to be very important during the estimating process, is to take the time to talk with the people we're getting in front of, create rapport, and create a connection with these people on a level that's deeper than our competition. So I made a note here. The great part about times like these is that the playing field kind of gets leveled out for people that are thinking of making the leap into this industry. It's a great time because you're going to actually be at the lower end of the price bracket, just not really knowing where the prices were. So that actually is going to work towards your benefit when you're starting to get in front of customers and bid against jobs. Is you're actually going to be probably the low bidder on most of the stuff, and you're going to end up getting it. And in the beginning, the low bidder is okay because you don't have a ton of overhead. You don't need to make the margins that other contractors do. So this is a great entry point into the industry. So I welcome you, and during times like this, in my opinion, is the best time to get started. My company is a product of the 2008-2009 market crash, and we, as a small company then, were able to stay busy because we were one of the cheaper contractors out there. We really didn't have any expenses, and we benefited from that by building our client list. So if you haven't yet made the move to join our industry, now's the time, I think. And that's really all I got for you. The state of the industry isn't looking too great as far as what 2023 will hold. I think it's going to definitely be a pullback from what we experienced from 2020 to 2022, which were euphoric times in our market. So even though I don't think that we're going to have a market crash or a full-blown recession per se, the spending is going to get tightened up by the consumers, and that's already happening. We can see that. So, taking that into account is we're going to start turning lower numbers, and we need to be adaptable to that. We can't have the same spending that we were having before with the lower numbers that we're taking in. So we can still remain just as profitable as long as we combat those the yin and yang that happen. Then we can still remain just as profitable, and there will be brighter days. But right now is the time to get into defense mode and start tightening up on things, and also pursue every project that you possibly can. Maybe even expand your radius that you're working in a little bit. And I think you'll do just fine by doing those things. But just taking the time to mentally understand what's going on in the market and how that will affect you, so that way you can start adjusting accordingly. That's going to be the lifeline that's going to save most people, is to recognize these things early enough that they can adapt and make the changes that they need to, so that way they can thrive in these economies. Still, even at lower numbers, you can thrive. It's all about spending and keeping the money that you make. So focus on those things, and you will thrive during this time. I'm sure of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and leave a comment if this type of stuff is interesting to you. Thanks. See you down the road.